Welcome everybody. Welcome back again to this week's my weekly Rage fix. Hope everybody again had a great week. I know you hear that from video to video, but a week actually elapses in between each time I actually record. So please don't mind my wishing you a great week and hoping that you had a great week. But this week's Parsha also gives us another incredible lesson from the Torah. Again, this week's Parsha continues to talk about the different afflictions that can hit somebody or somebody's home, a different types or forms of leprosy. And the type of leprosy that's also discussed is the leprosy or an affliction that breaks out on one person's home. If the stones of the house or the walls of the house actually develop a contamination through this type of leprosy. Now, our sages teach us two things that we learn from this affliction that breaks out on a home, and they seem to be contradictory. One lesson is that to teach a person a lesson, in that if you have somebody who has a home and he has a neighbor who always asks him, "Hey, can I borrow your drill?" And he says, "I'm sorry, I don't have a drill." "Oh, okay, can I borrow your screwdriver?" "I don't have a screwdriver." And he just walks away empty-handed. Now, the law is that when a person does have an affliction on his home, he has to take out all the different utensils from his house before the Kohen were to come in and possibly pronounce the house as being contaminated. For everything that in the house would also become contaminated. So therefore, all the utensils and everything that could be lifted up and out, are taken out. Now, along with that may be this guy's drill, upon which he had said that he doesn't own one, or a screwdriver. So all his tools are sitting outside before the Kohen comes, and all the neighbors gather and they say, "Hey, what's going on over here? You said you don't have a drill. You said you don't have a screwdriver. And I see yours is being brought out of the house." And it's a terrible embarrassment, terrible shame for the guy. He was caught red-handed lying. So it seems then that the person who gets the affliction in his house, it's to teach him a great lesson, in that he's going to suffer some type of shame for his lying. On the other hand, we have another quote from our sages that they say that the purpose of the affliction is that when they try to get rid of the affliction, they have to replace the stones of the house. Over there, they will find behind the walls there will be hidden treasures which once upon a time the Amorites used to hide over there behind the walls. And it looks like a bad thing that happened to them, that they got this affliction on their house. But really, we see how Hashem's planning getting rid of that way. They got rid of the stones and they discovered the treasure that was behind there. So really, these two then seem to be contradictory. Is it so that a person should get a great treasure, or is it that a person should suffer this misfortune, that it'll either be shamed, terribly ashamed and embarrassed, or is it because of the fortune that he's supposed to get? So Rabbeinu Yonah, who was a contemporary during the times of Raje, he explains an incredible thing, that sometimes for us, suffering a great shame or misfortune actually is the greatest blessing for us. There's many people, even in our own lives, and many times in our own life, that we can discover that what we thought was a bad thing that happened to us, it was only because we went through that actually picked us up, or that actually ended up being the impetus which turned our lives around. You know, one of the ideas is that he has to come to the Kohen and declare and say to him, "Hey, look at my house." Now, that's also part of it, in that he had never had any contact with the rabbi or with the Kohen, and this forces him to have a relationship with him, and from there things can continue. So even if he did have a contamination in his house, so the fact that he's actually able to have a spiritual guidance in his life now could also be the greatest things for him. So sometimes we suffer a misfortune, but it's really for our great benefit, and therefore that both of things can happen. A person can suffer a misfortune, but at the same time, it was because of that misfortune that can sometimes turn his life around as well. So they do not contradict. I want to wish you all a great Shabbos. There's more to say on this subject, but time is short. Enjoy, have a great Shabbos, and hope you had a good fix. Bye.